Okay, next we are going to discuss about data-driven decisions. Use metrics and data to guide decisions that align with team objectives. Right? This is a obvious common best practice across different companies, and we'll see how we implement this in terms of advertisement platforms. Alright, so the first one that I want to discuss is about development cycle. So I have the cycle with 3 dots. Okay, this is me, software engineers, right? As a software engineers, uh, we our job is to develop new features, right, to achieve the team OKR's objective key results. As a software engineers, we know how to configure the system, the search engines, to capture the signals, right? But we do not know the actual definitions of relevancy in the reality. What is the relevance for our users? As a software engineers, mostly we do not know because we do not own the data. So that's why in the development cycle, after we produce a new features and then we deploy it, a data engineer's job is to gather the data and create a data visualizations so we can analyze the patterns, analyze the metrics, right? And data engineers will talk, communicate, work together closely, tightly with product managers, right? Product managers will analyze the data and make the next improvements or tasks, right? Okay, for the next improvement, we have to improve the relevancy algorithms, or we have to improve the signals capturing mechanism, something like that. So product manager will create the task, and then we as a software engineers will do the task, and the cycle is goes on like this endlessly. So this is what we are doing weekly basis, right? So the development cycles and the next task that we do will be based on the analysis of data from the previous task. So in this slide, I'm going to share about experiments. So usually we do a lot of A/B testing, right? Basically to ensure that if we want to produce a new improvement or a new features, all of the 3 pillars, users, advertisers, and the company, get the best versions of product improvements. So we have to balance of the expectations. And what type of experiments that we usually do, right? We usually do ads relevancy type of experiments, right? So we adjust the signal capturing mechanisms, we adjust the features measurement algorithm, how we rank the ads, how we determine which ad is more relevant than the others. So all of that things belongs to this category, ads relevancy experiments. We can also do experiments related with precisions and recall, right? How we decide, how we balance the precision on recall, right? Usually, we're playing around with maybe like an alternative keywords, right? And then using that alternative keywords to choose and to get the balance of the recalls from different set of data. Maybe we tweak and manage the query. Maybe we use different kind of keyword matching algorithm. So those kind of experiments is in this category. precision and recall. And last is about experience and interface, right? We tweak the display of the ads, right? We tweak the positioning of the ads, something like that. Experiment as a platform. In the mature company, ads platform company, right? They usually has a system that able to do experiments. Yeah, this is I said as a platform. Usually, they will build it in a way that it can be used not only for the ads platform team, but for another team in that company too, right? And usually, the experiment platform will have these features. But the first one is we can schedule the experiments. For example, okay, we develop these features, but these features we want only to run on a specific time, so we can schedule it with these experiment platforms. With this platform, we can also choose which set of users or which set of clusters of users that will get this experiment experience, right? Oh, we can set, oh, this cluster or that clusters, right? And then I put this a warning sign because we have to be aware there is a potential of bias clusters. Bias clusters means that if you apply experiments in a specific clusters, and then you compare with another experiment, sorry, with and then you compare with another clusters. Somehow, these clusters, the data is anomaly, is bias, right? Let's say you have 5 clusters, and then one cluster has anomaly data. So avoid to use this bias clusters. Tag them that this is clusters that's biased and do not use them, because it will affect the final results. Yeah, your final results, the data that will be analyzed by data engineer will be also biased. As an experiment platform, we can also choose what device, right? Maybe we only want to apply the experiment to those who use iOS device only, let's say. It's also possible using this platform. And last is multiple funnels. Multiple funnels means that we can apply these experiments in different systems across the company on the same time, on the same device, on the same cluster users. So users will have the same experiments end to end on different funnel from A to Z. From user coming into the homepage, from user finding the product in the search page, when users click the products and see the detail page, and then users buy the products, check out and purchase, they can have the same experiments experience. So this is the platform that usually a major tech company has. Now let's talk about valuable metrics. This is a valuable metrics that need to be captured by companies so they can analyze the data, right? And make the next adjustments. So the first metrics is number of impressions. Impressions, right? Basically, it means that the number of ads being viewed. How many people view these ads? Number of clicks basically means how many users click the ads. CTR or click through rate. It's basically number of click divided by number of impressions and calculated in the percentage. So it tells that if the CTR is low, it means that your target audience is not interested in your ads. They see the ads often, but they click less. But if the CTR is high, means your ad is relevant and they want to click it. CVR, or conversion rate, it is converted users, right? Converted users numbers. Converted users mean, for examples, if your target is sales, then number of people is buy your products. Or if your target is, let's say, acquisitions, then this is the number of people that, let's say, download your applications, right? So it's basically converted users number divided by click. So a low CVR means your content is not appealing enough for users to convert. So they are interested with your ads, right? With your ads, they click it, but after see the detail of your products or what you offer, they are not interested. So if it's low, that it means you have to improve your content of your products. The next metric is CPM, or cost per miles. This is the amount of credit that will be charged to the advertisers per 1,000 impressions. Next is CPC, or score or cost per click. This is the amount of credit will be charged to the advertisers per ad click. And last is free CPC. So this is more technical metrics. Yeah, this is metrics more for not for advertisers, but for advertiser platforms. So basically, this is the amount of credit that should be charged, but somehow the system cannot charge it to any reasons. Can be there is a fault in the systems. There's a downgrade of performance in the systems, or a limit of the system itself. So the system could not charge. So basically, the company gives a free charge, so a free CPC for the users, for the advertisers. So if the trend is increasing time to time, it means that you have to analyze your systems, where it's wrong, how to improve it, right? Because if the trend goes up, means your company losing money, losing potential revenue, right? Next is about monitoring, right? About monitoring, there is a real-time monitoring on the left and non-real-time monitoring on the right. So for real-time monitoring, which is we usually use this kind of platforms, right? It's very beneficial to monitor real-time data. Yeah, of course. let's say, for example, you just deploy features, right? And then you monitor using real-time feedback. And then after monitor it a few seconds, you see that the trend of impressions or click decreasing, right? And it is not expected, right? So with this real-time feedback, you get a real-time data of trends, and then you can decide what you want to do. Revert the deployment, for example, right? This is very important, guys, because usually that kind of bug is hard to spot when you are doing development, because usually it comes from a not obvious bugs that you can check and then you print the error log, right? Because detecting a bug in relevancy is hard. So you use this monitoring to get the real-time feedback of that trends of your valuable metrics. So on the right side, non-real-time feedback, it usually used by dumping all of the important data into these platforms, a data warehouse. For example, using Google BigQuery or Amazon Redshift. Right. This is basically or usually the platform that will be used by data engineers. So we can use this to analyze the experiment results for the past week, for example. We can use for projecting OKR progress. So how many, let's say, revenue as a company that we have get, right, for the past month, for let's say. And then the final usage example is to analyze fraud activity. So these two monitoring is very important, and you need to have it, and then you need to invest in it because it is important. Okay, next we are going to discuss about how the ad system works, the ad system mechanics, to give you a picture overview of the systems that supporting all of that advertisements flow end to end. You will see the flow and what systems that usually advertisement platform has. So for example, we have advertisers and then as the advertisers, they want to create ads, right? So usually a company will has ads management systems, a system that will manage the creation of ads, updations, deletions, and any stuffs around that. So after, I'm going to use pointer. All right. So let's say after the ads is submitted by advertisers, these systems will communicate with another systems. We have ads data metric systems. This is the system that will dump all the valuable metrics into the data warehouse. Right. In this case, its data metric will dump the actions taken by the advertisers, which is creating ads. Then ads management system, we also talk to ads transformation systems. So ads transformation system is a system that doing the ETL, extract, transform, and load. It's basically a data pipelines that will collect all of the necessary informations to create ads and transform it in a way so that the ads can be ready to be searched and recommend to the users. So after ads transformation systems done its job, the data will be transferred right to ads search systems and ads recommendation systems. So for example, if I'm a buyer in e-commerce platforms, I can search product right in the search page. So if I see ads in the search page, that ads will come from ad search systems. But if I browse a product, let's say I see a product recommendations in homepage or in the item detail page, that usually comes from an ads recommendation systems. So these two are we usually call it buyer facing services. So if I see the ads or click the ads or maybe buy the product from the ads, those metrics, those data will be tracked by ads tracking systems. Ads tracking system will send that data into its data matrix systems, right? Dump it into data warehouse. And it will also communicate to its charging systems, right? A system that will charge the advertisers, right? And then ads tracking system will also communicate with ads reporting systems. Because if you remember, one of the features that ads platform need to have is to provide the past historical ads performance data for the advertisers, and that's historical analytic data will be computed, stored in these ads reporting systems. So ads reporting systems can give it back to advertisers, basically. So in actual reality, the ads system is much more complex than this, and in reality, each system can be broken down into more subsystems, right? Even I do not draw the database or caching layers, anything like that. So in reality, it's more complex, but I hope with this diagrams you can get the big pictures. Okay, next we are going to talk about ads team organizations. Managing a complex system requires a solid organizational structures. So let's see how company organize the team so this complex system can be managed and improve time to time to achieve the target. So let's begin with software engineers, right? Of course, we need software engineers to do the development. And we also need to have product managers, right? Product managers is the one who has a strong knowledge of the products, the ads related products, right? And then they the one who decide which tasks that we need to do as a software engineers. Yeah, and then they the one who analyze the results of the previous tasks, as I have explained in the previous sections. And usually we have also test engineers. These engineers who have a strong knowledge how to test the advertisement platforms, how to test the relevancy problems. They doing a lot of automation tests also, right? And then usually in one team like this, right, it will be led by a team leader. TL is team leaders, right? Team leaders here, they are the one who make sure that the project management, the project cycles going smoothly. They are the one who responsible of, yeah, basically leading the team. And then usually in one team, you also have a PE, or you can call it technical lead or principal engineers. Terms doesn't matter, but usually these persons that has the highest knowledge in terms of technical, let's say a technical champion in a team, right? So team leaders can like communicate with PE, right, to discuss about a challenging project, to get feedback from him, something like that. So this is one team, but in a complex advertisement team, it consists of more than one team. In my previous job, I think it was consists of 5 or 6 different teams, where each team has different amount of software engineers. maybe like 5, 6. If it's a big team, it can consist of 10 engineers. If it is a big team, usually product managers can be 1 or 2. Yeah, but leaders 1, principal engineers usually 1, right? And then this team will group together like this because they will manage a specific system or services only. So they can be an expert in terms of these domains only. All right. So here we have engineering managers. The job of engineering managers is to manage these team leaders, right? To ensure that each team's going into the right path to achieve the team targets. Yeah, managing team leaders, managing principal engineers. And then we have TA, right? It's a technical architect. Technical architects is usually a person that has a broad knowledge of infrastructure architectures, right? How to build this ad system with a good infrastructures, with a good reliability and stuff like that, right? So here we have a technical architects. So usually engineering manager and TA, technical architect, will manage 1 or more than 1 team, right? So in this case, we have 2 engineering managers and 2 technical architect, right? And then on the other side, we have data engineering team, which will support all of these teams, right? They are the one who will read the data, analyze the data, and visualize the data. And next, usually we have, I call it business executive team. I do not know the official terms, but basically they are the one who intensively communicate with advertisers, with big brands, with individual advertisers, right? Helping them in terms of creating ads, right? In terms of using the in terms of using the platforms, help them to optimize their ads, something like that. Next we have customer support. This is more if our advertisers has a problem, okay, has a problem, or they report some bug, they contact customer support, and this team will be led by associate VP and also VP. So you have seen that in one team, in one tribe or camp, it can have more than one team, right? And each team can develop their improvements and their new features of flexible, right? But somehow their changes maybe can impact direct or indirectly to another service that managed by another team. Sometimes it can affect in a negative way, right? So to avoid that kind of issues, usually we have a change advisory board meeting. It is a meeting where every team representative will share what they will build and what they will release to productions. They share about it, explain about it, and everybody else from another team will assess if that changes will affect their services. If it has a potential side effect, a bad impact, they will request for that team to do further assessments, maybe do further testing with the team test engineers to make sure it doesn't have a bad effect, right? If it has effect, they have to align the expectations and do further assessments. And next on the right, we have architecture review board. So this is a useful kind of meeting. If we want to come up with a very difficult task that has a big impact to the overall ads platforms, or we want to use a new set of technology that we haven't been used before, and then we need feedback input, right? Especially from technical architect. So we use this opportunity to share the idea, right, with them and get the feedback input and eventually get the approval, right? So let's wrap it up with a summary. In the summary sections, I want to share my personal growth experience working in the advertisement platforms. The first one is while working in the ads platforms, I'm able to do a lot of explorations and there's a lot of learning opportunity because the system is so much complex, right? It's so complex. It use a lot of technologies, algorithms uh, here and there. So there is a lot of learning opportunity for me. And then creativity and best effort. Because the OKR target for advertisement team is always at the end of the day is always about the revenue, and the target is very ambitious most of the time. So it forces us to think creatively and do our best to achieve that target, to achieve that ambitious target. So fun and challenging project because the nature of the ads as a product, it can to achieve that revenue target. We can try do a lot of things differently. We do a lot of experiments here and there. So it introduce a lot of fun, challenging different projects time to times. So the task is not monotone. It's not boring like, oh, I'm doing this again in the next week. But usually it will be a different challenging project. Last is about engineering and firefighting. Again, because the system is complex, and if the system is down, even though for seconds or minutes, the impact of a revenue loss will be huge, right? So it forces us to think like engineer, right? Again, to think like engineer means on every decisions that we made, on every code that we write, we have to think about the pros and cons, right? So it train us to think carefully about reliability, about scalability, maintainability, and stuff like that. And firefighting means that, uh, you know, jumping into emergency call. It's a common practice. It's not common practice. It's thing that we usually do, right? There's a lot of alerts going on. Sometimes even though in the night or in the weekend, so we have to go there and then try to fix as soon as possible. It's really shaped us in terms of thinking calmly, right? in a urgent time, and then make a correct decisions based on data, based on the observations that we see from the monitoring, how to tackle the issue. So it train us to be calm, to think carefully. It really our shape up our debugging ability, right? Yeah. Thank you for watching me. I'll see you around in the next video. Until then, keep learning and stay healthy. Bye bye.